Hello everyone, my name is Long and welcome back to my channel. Today, I would like to share with you another episode about the market update condition, the market condition in Arizona. Specifically in this episode, we are going to looking at because there's a lot of concern about the interest rates keep going higher and higher every day. It could have been reached the 10-year high already or very soon, right? So what about the real estate market, right? What about the seller? Are they willing to pay less? Or are they willing to accept less even? Or are they willing to pay for the closing cost of the buyers, which is very common in the buyer market? So let's take a look at what we have in this video. All right, thank you everyone. Again, very excited to see you again in this episode. This is happening every week that I'm going over a topic about Arizona market, real estate market in Arizona. And today we are looking at some number which talk about something relating to the interest rate, right? Since the interest rate going up even higher and higher, and it's going to reach the 10-year high very soon. What is the seller thinking at this time, right? One of the topic that the buyer always asks me is that is the seller willing to accept the asking even, right? Because right now the reality nowadays is that even if the seller asks for some price in of the listing, they always accept higher, right? Because there's multiple offers situation, and then you have to fight with that situation to be able to win that house, that property, right? That's number one. And is the seller already willing to accept lower offer? Number two, what about closing costs? Are they willing to pay some of the closing costs for the buyers? That question come up because the buyer cost seems to be a lot, and the seller has a lot of equity in the house, has a lot of money. So are they willing to share some of those money towards the buyer closing costs? So in this video, I'm going to talk to you, show you a couple of numbers, which I believe that going to surprise you in regarding to the closing costs as well as the price, the sold price. Okay. So with that, let's take a look at what we have. Okay, let me share with you my screen. Right now, this screen is the data regarding to the percentage of closing with seller paid or existed closing costs noted. Okay, so those are the money that the seller willing to share with the buyer in terms of the closing cost. Okay, now this number is collected by Comfort Associates. Okay, the data is from Arizona Regional MLS. However, the chart is put together by the Comfort Associates. And right now, if you focus on 2021, that's Q1 of 2021, Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q1 of 2022. That is the end of March, right? That is exactly the reason why I am going through this video right now, because this is video showing you the end of Q1 2022. We are at about 4%. About 4% of all the properties sold in the entire Q1 is the seller is willing to pay for that closing cost. Very minimal. If you're looking at 2015 or 17 or 19, all the number is around 25, 28, 28, 27, 22, 25, somewhere around that, right? But for the last 2 years, since 2001, 2021, and until now, until at this time, Q1 of 2022, the number is still super low, about 4%. All right. So we don't anticipate anything change within within now, right? Because the real estate market is moving very slow. And if something happened to the real estate market, we tend to see the trend before the reduction actually happened, right? For this situation, right now we still stick around 3.3, 3.6, 4.9, 4%. So we don't see any significant change yet. Okay, all right. And if you are curious, the city that paid the most closing costs is Gila Bend. Okay, about 33% of the transaction that has seller paid the closing costs. Arlington College, Casa Grande, 17% is right. Casa Grande and Goodyear and Queen Creek are the three cities that we heard a lot because it's kind of closer to Phoenix area versus other cities seems to not very common there. But as you see here in College, Casa Grande, Goodyear, and Green Creek are those that you have higher than the median or the average of the closing cost paid by the seller. Okay, so that's number one. That's data number one. Data number two is, okay, is the seller willing to accept lower than asking? Right at this time right here, if you look at the first, the first chart right here, we're talking about 54% of the close that is above list price. 54%, meaning that, well, we don't know about the rest, right? We don't know about the rest because the rest could be lower, which all could be equal as well. But we know that more than half of the number of total sales is sold over asking. In this situation, is 4,239 homes. That is for the entire Maricopa County sold over asking. All right. Which price range? This is kind of interesting. So we're gonna know like which price range that has the highest percentage of close over asking. So we're looking about this one right here, this chart right here showing the price range, which we see that from 300 to 400,000 house, the number of listing over closing over list price is 2,068 properties, which is about 62.8% of everything, right? So that's a really good number right there. And then from 400 to 500, the total of sales is 2165, okay? And then percentage of sold over list price is 55%, right? So that's a lot of number right here. Well, meaning that, okay, again, the total number of sales is 7,800. These two already combined and sold 4,000, right? 4,000. And then among those, 62% of them is already over asking. Among them, 55% of them so if you are buying a house from the 300 to 500 price range, you expect you have to pay overprice for a lot of situation, okay? Especially if you are under 400, you expect most of the case, 62%, you have to pay higher than asking. How much, you may ask? From 300 to 400, you are looking at about $15,000. So we have about 50% of the sale were over 15,000 or less over list. Okay, so that's a huge number. 15,000 is number that you are expecting if you are buying from 300 to 400. Okay. Now, one thing to note that this is including all areas in Maricopa County. So it is better if you're looking at the smaller scale, because I'm for sure the Glendale and the Chandler or the North Phoenix, the price that you pay over is different. So consult with your agent at best, okay? Consult with your agent so that he or she can give you the best advice for that situation. But we are seeing that again, the number of, as you remember, the number of closing costs paid by the seller is still very minimal. Secondly, the price that you have to pay for the house is more than half, more than 50% of the time that you have to pay over asking. Okay, and how much? If you are focusing on the 300 to 400, which is a lot of people focus on because it's a good price range for first-time home buyer. Therefore, you have to pay a little bit. Most of the time, you have to pay more than asking, and most of the time, you have to pay $15,000 more than asking. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Longley. I'm excited to share with you some of the information about the closing costs as well as the sold price versus the list price. So if you do have any question for today's video as well as other videos, feel free to give me a call. My cell phone number is right there at the bottom of the screen, 602-515-2442. Thank you. Bye-bye.